But then we know very well that there is another group made up of a few 100 million Muslims who do not have any reverence whatsoever for Umar ibn al-Khattab. No one, of course, can force their reading on history on the other. At the end of the day, if the Sunni world believes that in what they examine of the character of Umar and the behavior of Umar, that they want to adore him or admire him. And in some cases, I do not blame a sect when you have members of that sect who are raised from a young age believing that Umar ibn al-Khattab, of course, is the father-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alih. He is also the second caliph when one looks at the history of the religion of Islam. And therefore, when they also see traditions which talk about him being the friend of the Prophet, peace be upon him, his family, alongside a number of other traditions which talk about his merits and attributes, then there is no way that they are sometimes willing to even conceive of another image of Umar from the sources. You find, on the other hand, that the Shia school, when it looks at the biography of Umar ibn al-Khattab in the sources, finds a number of problems which leads the Shia to conclude that they do not have reverence for Umar. Of course, no one can bully me into having to have reverence for Umar. If your theology is a theology that concludes that after the Prophet there were 4 rightly guided caliphs, and a theology that concludes that all the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have an ultimate decency that no one can question, and that we are not meant to discuss issues which could bring dissension, then that's your worldview, but you cannot force it on me. Nor can I, as a Shi'i, force my worldview on you. Because at the end of the day, if in my worldview, I have also been raised in a school that looks at Umar's decisions, Umar's statements, looks at some of Umar's actions in a negative way, then one may argue that this could affect the Shi'i as well. That the Shi'i is raised in an environment where, because his mother's called Fatima and his father's called Ja'far, let's say, he's Shia. And a Sunni is raised in an environment that, because his mother, for example, is called Hafsa and his father is called Zubair, he is Sunni.
Tune in to the full episode on the Be Quran podcast. Link in bio.